everybody. So I'm just watching this reading from Lexi the Leo, but I saw this card and I just connected to something that I want to share. So I talk a lot about the soul, like your soul and your existence being a communal experience. It's a community experience. It's a community of souls that makes up one soul, if that makes sense. Like there is, like, you're never alone, essentially. And understanding that we are everyone and we are in everything is also just a reflection of literally what it is to be a soul, what it looks like. And I'm showing you through this image. So like there's different, dimensions to your soul. And I have this understanding right now of how it works, like how we jump to different timelines, how we heal, how we clear things out, and it's a community experience. Like we're all advocating for each other. We all represent different things, but we make up this one person. And so it's like you can see that outer layer, and maybe that's one version of like what your soul is and what your soul looks like. And then there's this other layer, and that's another dimension. That's another realm for the soul. That's another like layer of skin. Then there's another layer of skin, then another, and then there's that big rock with the spiral on it, and that is its own layer as well. But all of this together is like one person, right? Like, so me, I am every single one of these rows, and I'm the rock in the middle. It's literally not just me. I just can't see myself in the physical, in the 3D, because I'm at a certain level of awareness right now. So I don't see those dimensions. I don't see that dimension of myself, but it's still there. And like, you can kind of see it when you're high, or at least I can. Like I can see timelines kind of begin to, like I can see where there's the separation. And then I can see a few different timelines. And it's because I'm able to see the different dimensions of who I am, like in the 3D, like the versions, it's like, God, I haven't ever tried to like explain this out loud to somebody before. So I feel kind of like I'm not making sense, but it's like, okay, let's say I'm at 3D right now. So I'm in the 3D. Let's say, so I'm this big rock right here. Let's say that I then go to the 4D or something. And so now there's 3D version of me, and then there's 4D version of me. 4D version of me can see 3D version of me. 3D version can't see 4D version of me. You know what I mean? Because like we're just operating on different perspectives or lenses or something. There's more of me at 4D version of me. But in a different size and a different capacity, a different understanding. And we are now surrounding 3D. So 4D version of me is surrounding 3D and allowing them to heal and protecting them. And it's just like seals. It's like boundaries. And when you let down your guard, it's like when you let down your guard to somebody else, and now they can see you. But this is like letting your guard down to yourself. That's what it means when they're like, connect with your soul, connect with your core, connect with yourself and see yourself. Like it's not all, metaphysical and intangible. This exists in the physical. This is a physical experience, a physical expression of the self. So we're not just one soul. Like we're not as an individual soul. There's no such thing as an individual. Like there is, but there isn't, in terms of like, I don't know, existence or being alive. I don't know. But yeah, I've got to stop now. Hi y'all. So I was just thinking as I was listening to a reading, and I got this like understanding of like being too high when you're like on weed or something, when you're high on weed, is the same as being too high ascension wise and like dimension wise. So you don't actually want, and this is always talking about the physical. Okay, so I'm realizing that I've been talking about the physical a lot, like in all of its different understandings. And I'm realizing that this is because this is what we need to understand in order to like connect better with our higher selves, to bring us down a few levels, if that makes sense. So kind of like you're like right now being the ego, being like, it's time for an ego death to like God or something like that. But anyways, so what was I saying? Yeah, so you're too high. So when you're on that level, when you're on that, when you're on that level, it is a lot physically, but you are so detached and so disassociated from yourself that you don't feel it. You're disconnected from your body soul. At that point, you're literally living a life outside of your body. It's extreme, and it's not good. Like, it's not good in terms of what it is to be a soul and how we need to operate properly so that things don't start to glitch down below, because you're outside of your body, so things are going to start to glitch. Like, you need to come down a few levels. So it's like the same thing as being high on weed. When you're really high and like the world is like, it's way too much, right? You see things, you feel things, you hear things, but you feel things a lot. It's huge on the body, and you become really uncomfortable that you want to escape and escape more. And at that point, escaping is actually bringing you back into your body and grounding you. But, you know, when you take so much weed that you are escaping literally from yourself, at that point, it's like, holy shit. So you need to come back down. And it's like you're taking down the dosage of high dimension wise by bringing, and also taking down the dosage of weed physical wise, to make sure that you can get up to a level where you're enjoying and living your life with pleasure. And like, you know, people who can be high, but it's not bad for them because it's not that high, and you're not creating like an addiction, you're not getting lost, you're like, just, you know, it helps you have a better day or something. But then there's the people who are really high all the time, and they're like, they have separated from their bodies almost. And we are physically seeing it, not physically, but we are seeing them, you know, be completely detached, completely disconnected. So it's like the same thing. How you feel when you're too high on weed, and that, like, you know how it feels because you don't get there often, because you understand that that's not a fun experience at all. To be at that level where you feel like you're gonna die off of weed is not fun. It's really not fun. So especially for how long it might be lasting. So that is a sign that we don't want to get that high dimension wise. So ascending is not actually a great idea, because maybe in terms of the openness and the, you know, connection to the spirit world and all of these understandings, and that's great. And sometimes we as human beings experience that when we get really high, and, you know, it's traumatic, but it's also like, whoa, you know. But then even we begin to experience it when we're like just high, regular high, and we're like, whoa, like you're seeing things, you're understanding things, and it's fun. But all the time at a huge level, no. So how many times do you get that high? Like, you do it once and you try to never do it again because it's traumatizing. So that is where, like, some of us, I don't know, maybe me, maybe other people, maybe not me, other people, I don't know how it is, but some of us are up there and it's really intense, and they need to be grounded, and we need to help them. But that means connecting with your higher self. But that is why it's important to continue to push for self-love, because then you begin to see yourself more. You can connect with them on a level that they need. But anyways, yeah, we don't want to be that high. So just thinking about ascension levels and like low vibrationals and, you know, all of these hierarchies, and is that dynamic worth it? And is it beneficial to us as incarnating beings? Because that's how it feels, you know, and that's traumatizing. And I think a lot of us need to connect with our higher selves, not even like those of us who are really high right now in terms of the spiritual realm. And it doesn't have anything to do with how many lives you've had and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just where you're at. So it's not actually a hierarchy, you know, like it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm trying to explain. Yeah, because you build up, but it doesn't really matter how old your soul is. It doesn't really matter what you've experienced. We can all reach those highs where it's like, you know, akin to spirit itself, that type of high. And then we can also experience this level, or the shush, or the level of, you know, like an angel, or like, you know what I mean? Just the different dimensions that things exist at. And then even on the level of being everything, so that all you're surrounded with is nothingness, darkness, and that's a different type of high. And some people reach that with depression, with things like that happening on earth, with trauma. Some people reach that, and that's a type of high that is like, and that's when it's like, highs are also about extremes. They are the extremes of everything to the point where it all becomes one, and it's not good. Extremes are not good. And we all understand that with politics, and we understand that with, you know, art and things like that. But do we understand that with ascension and with the, awakenings? You know, how high do we want to go? How high do we need to go? And do we need to experience it to know it won't be great? Because what are we experiencing right now? And is this great? Do we all love this? So why push ourselves further when we could just, you know what? Stop. I'm happy here. You know, there's so much to experience in this level of dimension, in this like dimension level, because this doesn't have anything to do with growing and evolving. It's just the perspective that we grow and evolve with, not even in our individual experiences, but in our big like spirit, as spirit. Like, this is, do you like this level? Do you want to go up more? Do you want to go down? Like, you know, that's what we're dealing with. I lost my train of thought, but because I'm like moving up some levels, so I need to stop and go. Bye. Okay, I have an example of what I mean when I say that being a soul is a community experience, and what it means to be too high. Like in the physical essence of being in a dimension that is way too high. And it has to do, it's like, that's why self-love and self-hate at their extremes can be the same side, or like a side of the same coin, or the same coin. They can be the same coin, two different sides. Sorry, I'm high. So I guess that's why I'm having all these ideas. But even that is like, so you can be high with these creative ideas without having to be high in the physical 3D, or you can be high in the physical 3D, and that is why you are now having all these crazy ideas, but you need to be high to do that. So you can have either one. You don't have to be this high. You could be a lower level and still reach the same creative ideas that you were going to reach before, but just slower, to be honest. And I think that that's important because it helps people build connection with their dreams, build connection with your higher self, by creating the room to like make you work for it versus just you're manifesting it and here it is. So that's how you kind of create that relationship of trust and just a strong foundation with rocks. It's rocky, it's hard, but then you trust yourself and then you're on to the next level and then you gotta trust the other selves. But yeah, I saw a red and a blue and a white light. I saw red and white lights, and I think it was the police or something, or maybe it was the fire trucks, which gives me tower energy, which, God, I'm sorry, because those weren't for me, so I hope whoever that was okay. But anyways, I saw those, and I don't know if it was me yet, I maybe had a few other thoughts, and then I thought that it could be my higher self and my root chakra. So my crown chakra and my crown chakra and my root chakra. Oh my God. And I literally have crown chakra typed into my search bar. Oh, I don't. Okay, sorry. No, yeah, I do. Deep healing. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. Whoa. I have root chakra. And it's because I thought of crown chakra when I was going to pick a frequency to match the frequency I had heard before, and that when I was listening to a reader to see if I was clairaudient. I feel like I am. And so that's why I was thinking of crown chakra, because I thought crown chakra and third eye. But really heavily crown chakra. Third eye came first, but that's just because it was the obvious. But then I thought a little deeper and I was like, what about this? And then I realized it was crown chakra. I think that's how my intuition works. It makes me like question myself to just continue to build that trust and also that annoyance. I think I probably like being annoyed a little bit. Just like, okay, but anyways, yeah, I saw the red light and I thought root chakra, and I saw the white light and I thought crown chakra. And then I looked at that as a bigger example of the way how I am connecting with my higher self. So I'm like, that's what I'm doing right now. That's the work I'm doing, and it's pretty amazing. But also this is just like the work of connecting with your higher self. That's what that energy work life feels like. I saw 333. And then I also saw it as this is your higher self. And like, you are high right now. My spiritual team is just sending me like a joke in the physical. And I'm like losing my original point, but oh yeah. And so then I was thinking about it and I was like, your higher self, if you're a community of souls and we are like that onion, like you're the layers and the layers and the layers, and she's talking about that in the reading, oh my God. The layers and the layers and the layers, you are seeing yourself when you're higher, like you're seeing more of yourself. So you're not seeing yourself, but you're seeing more of yourself. You know what that, like you're seeing yourself from an outside perspective, but your own outside perspective. So you're seeing yourself from your higher self. Where was I going with all this? Oh, right. And it has everything to do with love. It has everything to do with love and self-love, because your higher selves are also seeing you. They know you. Some of them aren't looking at you, but they're seeing you. They're aware of you. They're keeping you in mind. You're in their like immediate family. They're seeing you. But there's also higher selves that don't, because they don't know. But maybe they're still empathic, so they can feel you. Like we can feel our other versions of ourselves in the world, but we don't, like it's like a passing thought. Like you don't really see it. You know what I mean? Okay, anyways. Yeah, fuck. I keep going all these other places. But the main point, your higher self, you see your higher self. Right. So too much self-love can turn into self-hate. So you see yourself. That is what it is to work on self-love and ascend at certain levels, because you see yourself, but you want to be able to see yourself without having to physically see yourself, is what I'm saying. And when you have to physically see yourself, you're too high. And sometimes it's not in the physical, but it's the metaphysical, that you see yourself a little bit too much, and it's just like, girl, you know, and that's like the ego death. It's like, lose the ego, like just take it down a little bit. Like that has to do with self-love, but also like not too much self-love to the point where you're looking because you're trying to learn about, because you care about, you're interested about, but then looking to the point of finding all these flaws. And anyways, but think about that all in the physical. But like our version of physical, just because we need to connect the gravity, like this is the weight of it is crazy, and the physical is good for that. When you can connect with the gravity and you understand what it means to be physical, and then what it means to be the metaphysical, and finding the blur between the two. I've lost my thoughts, so hello. I just wanted to add the way that we I wanted to add to the way that we see each other or see ourselves as a community, and it's very similar to the way that the moon exists. And like, okay, I wanted to say that shadows are similar to dimensions. So like your own shadow is your shadow self, but that's just what we understand in this dimension because we're in the 3D, but we probably wouldn't call our shadow selves in like a different dimension, or it would just probably have a different name basically. But you are always your own shadow. So like you are your 4D self shadow, and your shadow is your 2D's is your 3D self shadow. and your TD self shadow is there. But yeah, I don't know. We are like each other's shadows, essentially. And oh my God. And it's even talking about the proximity of us to like what it's like to be in the spiritual world if we were out in outer space. I'm watching the lunar eclipse and I'm getting a lot of downloads that are just random. I don't know how to else to change it. Bye.